noted that the one-day dialogue was made possible through the combined leadership of the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Her Excellency Princess Adejoke Orilokpe Adefulire, and the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Zairu Gambo. He added that the partnership between the Nigerian Navy and the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs is in line with the call for wider participation of relevant stakeholders in the Blue Economy Initiative made by His Excellency Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, at the inauguration of the Expanded Partnership Committee on Sustainable Blue Economy in Nigeria. Engineer Kawo therefore expressed optimism that the partnership will achieve the ultimate aim of ensuring that more Nigerians benefit from exploitation of the country's marine resources.
It is our firm belief that the outcome of this dialogue will pave way for the improved economic growth for Nigeria and its citizens, and will of course reinforce our commitment for an effective stakeholder collaboration in support of sustainable blue economy initiatives and of course the Agenda 2030 agenda for sustainable development goals of Nigeria. This initiative is one which will have a multiplier effects on other sustainable development goals targets beyond the SDGs 14.
The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral A.Z. Gambo, was represented at the event by Commodore Daniel Atakba, described as the Nigeria's Navy expert on blue economy. Delivering the goodwill message of the Naval Chief, Commodore Atakba appreciated the Senior Special Assistant to the President for providing the platform for discussing how to effectively birth blue economy in Nigeria, which he noted was one of the central issues discussed at the Chief of Naval Staff Annual Conference in 2021. He noted the Nigerian Navy has also since 2017 become a leading voice in advocacy of blue economy.
The Nigerian Navy is a major stakeholder in Nigeria's blue economy project in the critical aspect of provisioning of maritime security. It is common knowledge that there can be no blue economy without credible maritime security. The Nigerian Navy will continue to avail itself of any engagement aimed at advancing the cause of Nigeria's blue economy and looks forward to such engagements in the months and years ahead.
Representative of the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor to the President, Dr. Doyin Salami, in his message, noted that the blue economy is a major opportunity to express and diversify Nigeria's economy. He, however, called for the greater involvement of the private sector in efforts to develop blue economy in Nigeria.
The blue economy presents a major opportunity for Nigeria to diversify an economy away from oil. Quite a couple of the opportunities that were available to Nigeria in the past were inadequately exploited. But we believe that the blue economy, within the framework of the SDGs, we will be able to diversify the Nigerian economy and enhance our fiscal revenue adequacy, so that all the other elements of economic stability that are affecting our economic will be resolved.
On his part, the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Hamid Ibrahim Ali, represented by E.I. Edohe, and the representative of the Islamic Development Bank also promised that the service is ready to contribute its quota to facilitation of development of the blue economy in Nigeria.
The subject of discussion today is very key. Customs have been very involved in issues of commerce, and we know that there's so much going on in the water. over 80% of our international trade conducted through the waters. Besides that, below the level of the water, we have so much resources that will be adequately tapped for the good of the country.
The bank has in its agenda 2030 the politic of sustainable development in general, and particularly in the rural economy. So we are here to share with you if the country has some programs and projects that can interest the bank. We are here to take these informations and to revert to the management.
While declaring the one-day dialogue open, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals noted that high-level dialogue was convened to support and strengthen the expanded Committee on Sustainable Blue Economy, recently inaugurated by the federal government under the chairmanship of His Excellency Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, while also commending the Nigerian Navy for its contribution for development of sustainable blue economy in Nigeria. Princess Orilokpe Adefolire noted that the strategic dialogue could not have come at a better time, given the ongoing efforts to diversify the Nigerian economy.
This dialogue indeed is timely, especially now that we seek to diversify our economy away from oil and gas. Blue economy sector plays a critical role in boosting trade and provide opportunity for employment and prosperity.
The presidential advisor also noted that the concept of sustainable blue economy was well captured in SDG 14, which envisions the sustainable use and conservation of water resources for sustainable livelihoods and healthy ecosystem. She added that if judiciously utilized, these resources can help drive economic growth, social prosperity, and environmental protection.
Specific to this dialogue, the concept of blue economy encompasses the sustainable use and conservation of the oceans, sea, lakes, rivers, and numerous water resources around us. These abundant water and natural resources hold great promises to the achievement of SDG by year 2030.
Specifically, Princess Orilokpe Adefolire noted that the essence of the high-level dialogue is to strengthen the work of the expanded Committee on Sustainable Blue Economy in Nigeria. While enumerating the potentials of the blue economy, Princess Adejoke Orilokpe Adefolire noted that Nigeria's coastline and marine ecosystem comprises majorly of the oil and biodiversity-rich Niger Delta that covers 80% of the coastline, covering a total area of 70,000 square kilometers, making it one of the largest wetlands in the country. She further noted that with 90% of the world's trade carried by sea, diversifying the economy through sustaining and harnessing the potentials of the blue economy sector is a key lever of the global economy, and the United Nations estimates that blue economy sector accounts for about 3.5 to 7.0% of global gross domestic product, GDP.
Sustainable blue economy is essential for attaining more inclusive development path, consistent with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Accordingly, Nigeria coastline, in addition to being home for a number of offshore and oil mines, play an important role in facilitating international trade, create jobs, and ultimately reduce poverty and help grow the economy. But the coastlines are under serious threats of pollution and environmental degradation, largely due to oil and gas mining. As a policymakers, we must seize these opportunities to quick economic recovery through inclusive measures that provide opportunities for economic participation by all segments of the society, especially the poor and vulnerable members of the society, women, youth, and older people. This will help us to cushion the effects in the short and long term.
The presidential advisor concluded by pledging Nigeria's commitment to the successful implementation of the SDGs, including those specific to the development of sustainable blue economy. Still in the spirit of forging effective partnerships for the achievement of the 2030 Agenda, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, or SAP SDGs, in collaboration with the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDA, also recently organized a one-day stakeholders dialogue on space-based smart agriculture for food security in Nigeria. The stakeholders dialogue was aimed at exploring the potentials of space-based technology to support sustainable initiatives in implementing, monitoring, and measuring the SDGs targets and indicators to achieve food security in Nigeria. This is in line with increasing interest among countries in the use of space-based applications for sustainable development, especially to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Specifically, the stakeholders' dialogue was aimed at exploring the potentials of space technology for reduction of pervasive hunger and malnutrition through the creation of sustainable food production systems and resilient agricultural practices, as well as fair access to land, technology, and markets, and international cooperation on infrastructure and technology investment to improve agricultural output in Nigeria. While welcoming participants to the well-attended event, the Secretary of Program, Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Engineer Ahmed Kawu, noted that this one-day stakeholders meeting was aimed at bringing stakeholders together to explore new ways of promoting food security in Nigeria at both national and sub-national levels.
Very distinguished participants, this dialogue has brought together relevant stakeholders to discuss the importance of space-based smart agriculture for food security, both at national and subnational levels. As a well-guided stakeholder discussions that every other person will be able to appreciate the technical information that will enhance their capacity in producing timely and reliable information towards mitigating food insecurity and to ensure that integrated planning for interventions and programs to enhance our food security within the country.
Director General of National Space Research and Development Agency, Dr. Halilu Shaba, noted that the strategic event is another demonstration of the determination of the collaborating agencies and other stakeholders to ensure that Nigeria utilizes potentials inherent in space technology to achieve Goal 2 of zero hunger, as well as other cross-cutting goals.
We are passionate about this meeting, and I can assure you we are willing to engage with all the stakeholders to make sure that Sustainable Development Goals is achieved in Nigeria. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Her Excellency, Princess Adejoke, the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, and the Secretary of Programs for this monumental event. This event has never been so relevant and timely, given the recent global food crisis that is highlighted by COVID-19 that has overwhelmed many nations, as well as complications brought by the Russian-Ukraine war on the global food chain.
Dr. Shaba further noted that space technology can help Nigeria overcome the challenges posed to food security by insecurity in some parts of the country.
The use of space technology is aimed at ensuring that we decisively arrest the threat poised to food insecurity and hunger in Nigeria through space-based smart agriculture for food security in Nigeria. Food security and zero hunger in Nigeria. This is top of our priority in NASDA, with focus on exploring the potentials of space science and technology, that is, using Earth observation, communication, and GNSS, towards achieving sustainable development goals.
While declaring the stakeholders' dialogue open, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Princess Adejoke Orilokpe Adefolire, commended efforts of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari for various policies and programs aimed at achieving SDG 2 on zero hunger in Nigeria. She noted that the stakeholders' dialogue is timely, given the ongoing efforts to diversify the economy away from oil and gas, with specific focus on agriculture.
This discussion today will demonstrate how space-based technology will play a critical role in boosting agricultural production, as well as providing opportunities for decent employment and prosperity.
And speaking further, Princess Orilokpe Adefolire said the application of space science, technology, and innovation has demonstrated capacity to enhance quality and adequate food production around the globe. She therefore noted that the space-based smart agriculture concept is essential for attaining inclusive socio-economic development consistent with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
Into this dialogue, the concept of space-based science and technology in agricultural production encompasses the use of remote sensing, geographic information systems, and artificial intelligence to ensure adequate and sustainable food production and management through the agricultural value chain. This is in line with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, specifically Sustainable Development Goal 1, no poverty. SDG 2, zero hunger. SDG 3, good health and well-being, and many cross-cutting SDGs.
Princess Orilokpe Adefolire also noted that the space-based smart agriculture concept is essential for attaining inclusive socio-economic development consistent with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and tackling challenges associated with food production in Nigeria, adding that this is important given the predictions by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization FAO that about 19.4 million people are likely to face food insecurity between June and August 2022 across Nigeria. Especially in the northern region, she also noted that the World Food Programme, WFP, has also estimated that around 110 million Nigerians, representing over 60% of the total population, live below the poverty line.
34 million hectares of arable land in Nigeria. The agricultural sector is one of the major employers of labor, contributing more than 20% of nation's gross domestic product (GDP). In view of the attendant crisis, the federal government of Nigeria has deliberately developed several agricultural policies and programs aimed at diversifying the economy from overdependence on oil and gas sector. It is worthy to note that the application of space science, technology, and innovation has demonstrated capacity to enhance quality and adequate food production across the globe. As such, space-based smart agricultural concept is essential for attaining inclusive socio-economic development consistent with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the essence of this dialogue is to explore the potential area of collaboration and eager players and actors to drive space-based technology for ensuring food security in our dear country. Therefore, I urge all stakeholders here present to work together and contribute meaningfully towards the government's efforts in addressing food security, to addressing food insecurity in Nigeria. which will fast-track the achievement of SDG Goal 1, 2, and many other cost-cutting goals.
In their different goodwill messages at the occasion, the representatives of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Nigeria Agri-Insurance Corporation, Islamic Development Bank, Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, and Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, commended the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs for convening the one-day stakeholders dialogue on space-based smart agriculture for food security in Nigeria. They also stressed the importance of exploring space-based technology for improvement of agricultural practices and output in Nigeria.
We want to assure everyone that we are ready to collaborate at every level, especially on risk management of agricultural issues, so that we take Nigerian agriculture to the desired level. We cannot continue to do the same thing as the guy from the Ministry of Agriculture said, the same way, and expect different results.
And space agriculture is the way to go because it makes our agriculture smarter. If any advice we give to the farmer today is not smart, then it is not climate resilient. Recently at NIMET, also in line with implementation of the SDG, particularly SDG 2, to bring hunger to 0 in our nation, NIMET launched an application. You go to Google Store, you see the NIMET application, the weather application. So the farmer doesn't need to travel from where he is his village to Abuja to North NIMET office to get weather information. You go to Google Store, you install it on your phone, you can Google your village and then you get all the climate information that you need.
From the stable of the CBN, leveraging on development financing, from most of the names rolled out here today, we already have existing partnership. So for us, it will be more of a plug and play. However, we would like to be able to also situate this in the financing space. People say agriculture is a business of the poor. However, if you are not doing agriculture for a business purpose, then you should not get involved. Poverty has never been linked to agriculture. So, for us to be able to win the bat, we must be able to see naira and kobo in this transaction.
And that's the show for today. Do follow us on all our social media platforms. And until we come your way with a fresh episode next time, keep taking actions for the goals for a better world.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
There is an epidemic affecting individuals in every community, regardless of age, economic status, gender, race, religion, or nationality. It is called domestic violence. It can take a number of forms, including physical, verbal, emotional, economic, religious, or sexual abuse. The ultimate aim of domestic violence is to gain and maintain total control over its victim. Domestic violence does not discriminate. It happens among people of all ages, ethnic background, and economic levels. While women are more commonly victimized, men are also abused, especially verbally and emotionally, although sometimes even physically as well. Unfortunately, domestic violence is among the most underreported crimes worldwide for both men and women. An abuser doesn't play fair. He or she uses fear, guilt, shame, and intimidation to wear down his or her victims and keep them perpetually under his or her control. Abusers may often seem wonderful and perfect initially, but gradually become more aggressive and controlling as the relationship continues. Here are some signs of abusive tendencies: showing jealousy of the victim's family and friends, accusing victim of cheating, controlling who the victim sees, where they go, or what they do, preventing the victim from making his or her own decision, intimidating the victim with guns, knives, or other weapons. Noticing and acknowledging the signs of an abusive relationship is the first step to ending it. Therefore, abusive behavior is never acceptable, whether it is...
Hello and thanks for joining us for the news update at 11. I'm Comfort Amadu. Part of Central Bank of Nigerian building in Makudi was caught in an early morning fire. The situation has, however, been brought under control and contained by the State Fire Service. President Muhammadu Buhari says he cannot appreciate the 9th National Assembly enough for sustainably demonstrating exemplary patriotism and putting the nation first in the discharge of its functions of lawmaking for good governance and effective service delivery to Nigerians. The president stated this while breaking the Ramadan fast with the leadership of the National Assembly. President Buhari admitted to have suffered a lot in his first term of office working with the last National Assembly, saying if the same level of cooperation and collaboration and support existed between 2015 and 2019, much more would have been achieved by his administration for the good of all Nigerians. Both the Senate President Ahmed Lawan and Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila take pride in the fact that the executive and legislature are making history together in bequeathing worthy legacies for posterity. And the presidency has made further clarification on the pardon granted for former governors Joshua Dari of Plateau State, Jolly Nyami of Taraba State. A statement by the senior special assistant to the president of media and publicity, Garba Shehu, states that Section 1751 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, as amended, enjoins the president to exercise his constitutional powers to grant any person concerned with or convicted of any offense created by an act of the National Assembly a pardon, either free or subject to lawful conditions, to grant respite either for an indefinite or a specified period of the execution of any punishment imposed on that person for such an offense, substitute a less severe form of punishment imposed on that person for such an offense, or remit the whole or any part of any punishment imposed on the person for such an offense, or penalty or forfeiture otherwise due to the Senate on account of such an offense. And he states further that President Buhari has assured the nation that it was not intended to achieve a political end or send a revisionist message on the relentless war against corruption, which he has ably and evidently led by personal examples. That's an update of the news for now. Stay with us for more update at 1. I'm Comfort Amadu.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Anytime you feel like having a weekend a special treat for yourself, family, or even guests at any occasion. There are numerous pastry recipes you can count on. Baker's confectionery can be crowd-pleasing, easy to make, and pocket-friendly. You're welcome to Baker's World on the network service of the NTA, a program that updates you on recipes, cake decorations, cake shows, and all you need to know about the sugarcraft industry as a whole. I am Funke Rieli. Many thanks for watching.
This week on Baker's World, we'll be sharing 2 pocket-friendly and quick-to-make pastry recipes. Our guest is a down-to-earth and focused baker who will take us through the procedures of baking Chelsea and currant buns. You certainly won't want to miss what our respondents have to say about our favorite pastry on Baker's Gist. All these and more for you this week on Baker's World. Do come along with us.
But I just have passion for this baking thing right from when I was in secondary school, precisely SS1. And I remember then, as a food management student, then I will go to stand by the window and then peep. I was just so interested in learning the arts of baking. And then while I was doing my IT, then in Kaduna, there was a neighboring school, an institute for education, Ministry of Education for baking and catering management. And then I enrolled, and that was how the journey started. And then I started, though I used to bake for Christmas, Easter, gradually like that. But then I started baking for commercial, and I needed to educate myself, get more skills. And that was how I started. Okay, what's invoked now is cake slices, though maybe because of the financial implication, like a lot of people cannot afford to pay for cakes. That's not the fault of the bakers, because cakes, ingredients and everything is expensive producing cake. So cake slices is really in vogue. You have cake loaf is in vogue. You have cake sticks. Like people just walk in stores, get cake slices. If it's your birthday, you get cake slices. You can share among people. After all, the whole cake will be sliced anyway. So that's what is in vogue right now. It doesn't matter the flavor. And then you can even have different flavors of cake in slices. Like you can order cake slices in different flavors. You can have cheesecake slices. You can have red velvet. Unlike against the ordering of cake, if you're ordering a birthday cake, you only have to order red velvet cake or vanilla cake. But now that cake slices are in vogue, you can have different flavors in different slices. What I really think for myself and then for some other bakers is that a lot of bakers, what they do is that they stick to their regular clients. That they stick to their clients. Like if you have good clients, they know, everybody know. You work on those you have, like your previous clients or your good clients. And then referrals, those clients will get you referrals, and then when they are doing that, you let them know this person does so work, does quality work. So when the price are a bit high, the person understand. Getting new clients is difficult in these times now because, of course, when you tell them the prices, they will get to run away and they feel you're charging high. So what we do now is to stick to old clients, like you do, like promos, you do sales, you give discounts, just to make sure you encourage them so that they can make cakes. Oh, Chelsea buns, like I said, what's special about Chelsea bun is the shape. People wonder how you come about that coily shape, like a mosquito coil shape. Like people wonder, oh yeah, it's made with puff pastry, but like you now wonder how did they come about this shape, and then how come this fruit is in it like that. So that's the special thing about. And then the most special thing about it could be taken as a breakfast, lunch, snacks, picnic. You can use it for any of the occasions, and then you can take it as snacks. When I'm not baking, I sit down to think and create new recipes. I sit down to improve on my old recipes. I sit down to study and then learn the new trends, and I just work on my faults, defaults, because we're learning every day and we grow. So those are the times I get to have to, okay, I did this, I made this cake and this customer complained, I did this work and this wasn't supposed to be like this. So those times when I'm not baking, I try to improve on myself. Well, I listen to all music apart from reggae.
Pastry making can be traced back to the era of ancient Egyptians. Pastry back then was simply made with just flour and water turned into paste, which was usually wrapped around meat. But after so many centuries, pastry has evolved into different variations using wide varieties of ingredients and spices enjoyed all across the globe. Many Nigerians also enjoy eating snacks, especially during festive period.
Yes, I enjoy eating donuts and toasted bread.
For my kids, because those are the ones they like bread. So that's what they take more often. They can eat it at least 4 times in a week.
That would be meat pie and chicken pie.
Egg roll.
Donuts.
Pastries are easily available and affordable as they can be enjoyed at all times of the day. But in this current climate in Nigeria, many people are gradually staying away from buying and enjoying their favorite snacks.
Prior to this era of price calculation, I buy them at a very affordable price. But for now, I think before I bought each at the rate of 300, 350. But now it's only 650.
Before it was quite affordable, but right now the price has increased. Those that have increased their price, it's not that affordable. And those that have not increased their price, they've reduced the quality. So now the children that eat bread every day now, they tend to waste the bread.
The hike in diesel prices affected so many things. So it affected the price or the price of almost all the items they're selling at the point I used to get them. Once you get in there, you're forced to notice to say their prices increase in all their confectionaries there. So all the pastries have all gone up. Even the food outside the pastries, even the food there have all gone up because of the fuel and the diesel hike.
Price of donuts has increased for me, and as such, I've had to drift away from it a bit. Like I don't take it the way I do before. So like maybe on a norms, if I take like 5 times in a week, for now I don't do that. I take it like 2 times in a week.
Given the trends and inventions pastry making has taken over the years, one might not be surprised to see more new snacks come into the market.
My name is Nena Nkwocha. You're watching Baker's World on NTA. Don't touch that dial.
Today I'm going to show you how to make Chelsea buns and currant buns. Chelsea buns is a British snack in the 70s, and it can be taken as a snack, as a lunch, in picnic, and then even used as breakfast. I have here my flour, a cup of milk here. I have 3 tablespoons of sugar. This is my yeast. This is my currant fruit. An egg here. I have a teaspoon of salt. I have melted butter, not margarine. So I'm going to pour this into the cup. So I'm going to add the yeast. So I'm going to take a tablespoon of flour and I'll just stir. This method is called fruiting. I want it to kind of ferment so that before adding it to the flour. And then I'm going to cover with a towel. So you drop in a warm plate so that when you see it as if it's fermenting, then you know it's good to go. Leave it for like 15 minutes. I'm just going to set this aside. For my flour here, a gram of flour, then I'm going to add my 3 tablespoons of sugar. And just like the milk, I'm going to leave some because when I roll, before adding the currants, I'll sprinkle some of the sugar before adding. But if you so wish to get everything in at once, fine. I'm going to add my salt. So this is a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to be adding my melted butter, not margarine. This is butter. Then here is our egg. Just trying to check our mixture. Yeah, here it goes. If you're here, you could perceive the action of the yeast and then the interaction. So we have it here. So gently I'm going to pour in case, because I don't want to have a wet dough. So I'm going to pour. Okay, so I have malleable dough. The dough that you can work with. It's not sticky, it's not too hard. So we're just going to quickly dust the table, work surface. You get a work surface. So just place the dough into it. Then I just dust. Just roll. Just gently. So I'm just going to very quick. You really don't want sugar, you don't want too much sweetness. You can skip this. This is my currants. I'm going to generously just sprinkle. Okay, so we're good to go. So gently you roll, ensuring and making sure that the currants are in it. You can cut into any size of your choice. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to be transferring this onto a baking tray. Remember, I greased my baking tray with butter and dusted with flour. See how this is what I have. I have my Chelsea buns arranging. So I'm going to just cover this and then allow it to proof or double the size. So I'm going to just place it inside. Okay, so next is our how to make our current buns. So this is easy. So what we're going to do, we have all our dry ingredients here. So we're going to use our wet ingredients. So we're going to just be adding them. I've measured already. So I'm going to be adding my this 3.5 tablespoons of sugar. I have an egg, so I'm going to pour in the egg. So this is my melted butter. So I'm adding the currants into it. Remember, I'm going to need generous amount of currants. So now I'm going to start mixing, and then this is where I add the milk. So here, I have a dough that is not sticky, it's not stretchy, not too watery, it's not hard. And be able to mold this into balls. Here, my baking tray. Just going to lightly dust my hands. So this is what I have. I've molded 5 currant balls. So now I'm going to just cover with a towel for it to double in size. At least it should take like 45 minutes. Then I just set it into the oven to bake for 15 minutes.
I'm actually a passionate baker. I don't rest until everything is done. When I entered university, anytime I'm broke, I'll make cupcakes and go and sell to the other students.
Decorating cake it's an artistic thing, and art is, dynamic.
Join us on Baker's World every Thursday on the network service of the NTA. Baker's World, celebrating creativity. Don't miss it.
So welcome back. We have our snacks ready, we have our Chelsea buns ready, and we have our current buns. You can see it here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to pipe on cupcakes, and I'm going to be decorating them and placing them on this sugar basket, which I made with parsilage. So I'm going to start by piping a rose flower on this cupcake, and I'll place them here on this basket. So first you'll be making a cone. So to make a cone, you just press down on this cupcake. You press here, you do a cone, just gently, just put pressure. And then you just go like this. Now if you have an emergency work and you won't really need to get this firm enough, you just do them and put them in the freezer for about 5 to 10 minutes so that it firm up. And then when you want to pipe, ensure that your buttercream is firm enough. So a little bit of the icing sugar, so you don't have it falling off. This is nozzle wilting tip 104. This is what you use in achieving this rose. Into the basket, and to arrange them slightly.
careful when placing them, so that you don't have a mess. Okay, so I'm going to arrange the rest of the cupcake just to fill in the basket and then just pipe on it. So you need to be careful while doing this. This is nozzle tip 81. So I'm going to do a sweet pea. So I'm going to be piping the grass here. Yeah, this is a closed rosette. You can fill it up if you so desire, and if your basket is wider, you have more cupcakes to go in there. You can see I have some left over. Okay, so I'm going to be using this to embellish this basket. So you can add more colors and then you can pipe more cupcakes if you so desire. So here I have my basket with pipe cupcakes and I've embellished with these leaves. So here you go, you can do a wider basket if you so desire, and then you can embellish with whatever you so desire. You can do with fruit, whatever you want. You can do with sprinkles or whatever it is. And then most of these baskets, you make them in themes form, like for Valentine, for Christmas, whatever it is that is your theme. So that will determine the colors that you want to place in the basket. So here I'm going to set this aside and then we'll just plate our Chelsea buns and currant buns. So we're using this. So I have a plate here. This is my bowl, and I'm going to be plating my currant buns. Just going to layer them here. So I'm going to place it with glaze, edible glaze. You can use melted chocolate. You can use milk, whatever it is, whipping cream, whatever you feel like. But I just decided to use glaze. So remember when we brought it out from the oven, we brushed with melted butter and then adding this glaze. Of course, you know it's sweetness in heaven. Can't imagine. Make sure you try this at home. So I'm going to just arrange these Chelsea buns here. That's why I have a bigger bowl. So we just do this. These are Chelsea buns. So, but with this, we're not going to place with this. I have sliced apple. I'm going to just place sliced apple to give it color and then a crunch. You can just do whatever you want. Just have fun while eating. So here we go. So we have our Chelsea buns here with our layers of fruits. You can just sprinkle with icing sugar if you so desire. You can use whipping cream. You can use ice cream, whatever you so wish to. But here I've decided to do a sweet version versus the healthy version. I have my fruits on one side and I have the glaze and the melted butter in another side, all in one plate. So you can do the same thing.
I am going to be trying my hands on some of this pastry and cupcake. It's a lovely design. Bake For Me has shown that achieving Chelsea buns, currant buns, and cupcakes, they're very easy to make, but though it may be a bit tricky how to achieve, very colorful creation on the cupcakes. Chelsea platter, the bun platter, you can also embellish it with anything that you like. It's not an exact science. Now, this is where we end the program for today. And you can always send us pictures or videos. We're on Facebook and Instagram. It's Baker's World on NTA. We're also on YouTube, Baker's World on NTA. So coming away next week with more an interesting episode of Baker's World. I am Funke Oyelele. See you next week.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Motions adopted include the appeal from Afe on the need for authorities to curb oil spillage in Mereje district of Okpe and Sapele in Delta State, and that of Muraina Jibola, urging authorities to provide divisional police headquarters in Ayete, Oyo State.
Afe, member represent the good people of Okpe, Sapele and Obia Federal Conference. Mr. Speaker, this is a matter of urgent national importance that has to do with oil spillage in my 2 local government out of 3 local government of my federal constituency in Delta State. You have to know that the primary responsibility of any government is to protect the natural rights of the people, including the rights to life, liberty, protection of property, as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The House further note with concern a devastating oil spill that occurred from indigenous oil firm, Wellhead, Coin Oil Company, at Ekoko 1, Ekoko 2, Iriama, Upraja, Egborode, Mereje, Irogo, Ogikporo, Angwapopo, Upraja, Iriama, Popogri, in Okpe local government area of Delta State, and also in Elume, Angwapopo, Ologo, Degele, Okuvo, Okwemabra, Adagbasa, Ilume in Sapele local government area of Delta State of my federal conference. Aware that the OSP started since last month, February, that is 2022, and was reported on the 1st of March on local television. The cause of the oil has not been established, but it's believed that it's the warhead of the corn oil exploiting company. Certain that the OSP has affected all the community mentioned above, which is so massive that the large expanse of land used for fishing, the economic mainstay of the people, have been contaminated, thus affecting the means of livelihood of this community as a major economic activity, as a fishing and farming activity has been paralyzed. More certain that all efforts made to get Corn Oil Company to quickly intervene prove futile. Corn Oil has displayed highest level of negligence, reckless abandonment to the plight of this host community who are currently experiencing both infrastructural, environmental, and socio-economic damages. Informed that this plague could have been averted if Corn Oil Company has not breached the environmental compliance guidelines as stipulated by ISO 14001, which mandate all license holders, operators, servicing community to adopt a systematic and integrated management plan discharged to the environment. Prayers. Mandate the Health Committee on Upstream and Environment to visit the area to assess the environmental impact and report back to the House within 4 weeks. Urge the National Emergency Management Agency to send relief materials to the affected community to cushion the effects of the oil spill in the 2 local government areas. Urge NASA to commence the cleanup of the area as soon as possible. Urge NNPC and Corn Oil Company to be involved in the cleanup and pay adequate compensation to the affected community. I beg to move.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, ably moved by my brother. I beg to second.
And individual firm, Corn Oil Nigeria Limited, operates in that 2 local government area. You know, when explorations are made, companies are expected to mount an oil warhead, which is the spot where the oil is drilled, and serve from the earth, whatever. So, as I speak, the oil warhead has erupted. And this oil has spread to so many communities. And my community, this community concerned the agrarian community, fishing communities. It has affected the economic activities of these communities in the 2 local government areas. They can no longer go to their farms because the land has been contaminated. Their waters have been contaminated. Fishing is zero, they can no longer fish. So we are calling on the oil companies and other relevant agencies to carry out a cleanup exercise, and also so that the communities can carry out their daily activities of farming and fishing, and also for adequate compensation to be paid, because this period that this has happened to, when the environment is cleaned, they will be jobless. They will be depending on nothing. So we are praying this pass to call on the oil company and NNP, because it's like a joint venture, to carry out a cleanup exercise. And before then, the Committee of Upstream and Environment to go for visitation, to see things for themselves, to see the impact and what the communities are suffering. And them should provide adequate humanitarian services in terms of humanitarian things to the committee, to our federal committee. As I speak to you, sir, even my king committee is impacted. The former Minister of Information, Professor Yuraye's committee, is in fact is also impacted. So we're calling on this house to do the needful so that these oil companies can adhere to the guideline of oil exploration. This is my own explanation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's it.
This House to kindly allow me to present a motion of urgent national importance on the devastating rainstorm in my constituency, Ezekiel.
Rainstorm?
And more than 3/4 of the communities are homeless as we speak. And we need help from NEMA. Nothing.
Go ahead and present a motion.
Rainstorm in our federal constituency, Edo State. The House knows with sadness that some communities, including Ewe, Otuo, Oluma, Igera, Ugba, and Imafo in our federal constituency of Edo State, experienced a dastardly rainstorm disaster on the 30th of March, 2022. Also knows that the rainstorm wreaked havoc in the aforementioned communities which resulted in the massive destruction of several homes and other properties of the indigents. Informed that the rainstorm, apart from blowing off the rooftops and demolishing houses in the affected communities, also swept away farmlands, resulting in loss of crops, though no life was lost. Aware that as a result of the disaster, many of the indigents have been rendered homeless as they now take refuge in public schools, in the communities and homes of relatives. Further aware that the overriding effects of this rainstorm has crumbled economic activities in the communities, leaving the victims financially handicapped, emotionally and psychologically distressed, as all electric pole lines and supply were completely destroyed. Recognizing that individual efforts of the sitting honorable member is totally insufficient to ameliorate the suffering of the people, resolves to urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to send relief materials to the victims as quickly as possible to cushion the effects of the harrowing experiences and the pains the people are going through. And two, urge the Benin Electricity Distributing Company, BEDC, to urgently replace the broken poles and lines to restore power to the affected areas. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Professor Julius, you want to throw more light or put the question?
Rural and semi-urban communities in Northern East and in Northern West. We've not had any rain for a very long time. And suddenly, most of these communities experienced a storm that took everyone by surprise. Hundreds of them are today rendered homeless. We've been living on charity. Their farmlands were also affected. And we've been appealing for support for those communities, particularly in Norway, where about 45 communities were impacted. And over 100 houses had their roofs blown off, furniture destroyed, food items destroyed. And school is in session, so even the school compounds that they are occupying is not convenient for effective functioning of the school system. So we just want to use this to come to the aid of my people.
Okay.
These are difficult.
Honorable Ben. Appropriation Act 2021 Amendment Bill 2020. First reading. Federal College of Technology, Federal College of Health Technology, Benishek, Borno State Establishment Bill 2022. First reading. Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board Act Repeal Bill 2022. First reading. National Youth Service Corps Act Amendment Bill 2022. First reading. Family Economic Advancement Act Amendment Bill 2022. First reading. Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022. First reading. Public Complaints Commission Bill 2022. First reading. Federal College of Education, Ikia Dolo, Edo State Establishment Bill 2022. First reading. Institute of Information and Communication Technology, Iwo, Osun State Bill 2022. First reading. Federal Medical Center, Uli, Anambra State Establishment Bill 2022. First reading. National Point of Sales Management Commission Bill 2022. First reading. Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority Act Amendment Bill 2022. First reading.
Respected colleagues, the second business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Customs and Excise on a bill for an act to repeal the Custom and Excise Management Act, Cap C45, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian Customs Service Act, and for less matter standing in Honorable Leki Abuja. All members recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Wednesday, 30th November 2020. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Abuja is invited to present the report.
I represent the good people of Yabafera constituency. I'm from Kogi State. I rise to move that the House do receive the reports of the Committee on Customs and Excise on a bill for an act to repeal the Custom and Excise Management Act, Cap C45, Law of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and enact the Nigeria Customs Service Act for related matters, HB 1729. I so move. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Appropriation Act 2021 from 31st March 2022 to 31st May 2022. And for little matter standing, the Honorable Garba Alhassan Ado, honorable members of the court, the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 6th April 2022. I now invite Honorable Ado to move that the bill be read the second time. Sadona.
Ado Dogwa remains my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent the good people of Tudunwada, Dogwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am from Kano State. I rise as directed by the Speaker to move that a bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2021 in order to extend the implementation year of the capital component of the Appropriation Act 2021 from 31st of March 2022 to 31st of May 2022. And for related matters, HB 1942 be taken for the second time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so respectfully move.
I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anochush from the Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Yes, Leader, you want to add value?
Allow for completion and accomplishment of some of our capital projects as projected in the outgoing year. Mr. Speaker, it's a tradition because we have always had this kind of consideration to allow the government to be able to run a full package of its capital component in the budget. And for those reasons, Mr. Speaker, our sister chamber, the Senate, has done the same. And I want to understand that our colleagues can understand in the spirit of that bicameral existence of this institution, that this bill should go with the speed of the light. I want to believe, Mr. Speaker, it is in the interest of our people to have the government perfectly accomplish some of its capital components in the budget so that we can be able to deliver, on the promises we have made to our people, but most especially on some capital issues that have to do with the funding of our security apparatus, some infrastructural development, construction, and all other things that may be of importance to the people of the country. I think will have a very good boost if this bill is considered and we have our Appropriation Act 2021 extended by 30 days. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this is my take, and I hope honorable members will see reason to allow this to pass with the speed of the light. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The bill deals with the tenor of the 2021 Appropriation Act, and given that most of the components of what made up the 2021 budget are yet to be fully implemented, and most of the projects are ongoing. In effect, it means that if you stop it, it will have a very bad effect on those projects that are ongoing. Hence, this idea of bringing it up for the parliament that has the only sole right to alter the budget, the appropriation, has been brought before us to do that. So the essence of this is to do justice to this bill and ensure that both chambers passes it for the sake of extending the time to enable those ongoing projects to be completed. And if that happens, it will yield a multiplier effect on our people because we're here to represent their interests. The interest of our people is very paramount. And if I may just say that also, that when this happens and those projects are completed in our various constituencies, in our various states, it will, of course, show that there are federal presence in those various constituencies. So I want to support this bill that it goes for second reading to allow the Committee on Appropriation to be expeditious and bring it back here for consideration. I so submit.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Act 2021 in order to extend the implementation year of the capital component of the Appropriations Act 2021 from 31st March 2022 to 31st May 2022 and for related matters. Second reading.
Leader, please. Visitors that are here to visit us, members of Ghanaian Parliament, in line with our rules, Leader will move for the suspension of our rule to enable us admit them to observe our proceedings.
Mr. Speaker, in my humble capacity as the leader of the 9th House of Representatives, to move that we suspend our relevant rules to admit some Ghanaian parliamentarians who are visitors to this institution. As usual, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move. Thank you.
All members recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 28th January 2022, and now invite on the Olusegun to move that the bill be read the second time.
Odebomi Segun is my name. I represent the good people of Surulere, Igolua Federal Constituency of Oyo State. I rise this morning to move a bill for an act to establish Federal Polytechnic Ayede, Oyo State, and to make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration and for related matter. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I rise to second the motion as moved by my colleague, Honorable Odebomi, that the bill should be read the second time. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The bill for an act to establish the Federal Polytechnic Ayede, Oyo State, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instructions, and training in technologies, applied and physical science, arts, social science, humanity, and management, and to provide for the appointment of directors and other officers of the Polytechnic to carry out the administration of the disciplines of the students of the college and the related matter. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the bill took cognizance of the need to upgrade the rate at which we are assimilating the teeming populations of the candidates seeking admissions into higher institutions in Nigeria, particularly in the technology applications and scientific research fields. Mr. Speaker, the justification for this bill, according to the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, candidates that apply for admission into Ladoke Akintola Universities of Technology Ogbomoso annually since 2018 keep increasing from about 38,000 to 52,000. And the school can only admit limited numbers of the candidates, not even more than 10,000. And the same goes to all institutions under the regulations of boards and commissions. The maximum capacity of the existing institutions is grossly inadequate to assimilate the teeming populations of the candidates seeking for the admission into higher institutions. Although the establishment of Federal Polytechnic Ayede has been declared by the President Muhammadu Buhari, however, the legal framework is of high importance, goes by the principle of separations of power in a constitutional democracy like ours. And it is my belief that the establishment of Federal Polytechnic Ayede will cover for inadequacy to assimilate the teeming population of the candidates seeking admission into the higher institution from states including, but not limited to Oyo State, Osun, Ogun, Ondo, Ekiti, Kwara State, and other neighboring states and beyond. The bill consists of 23 sections plus one schedule of the regulations of the proceedings of the Polytechnic Council. In my submission, that the bill, the Polytechnic has been declared by the President, and there's need for this House to have a legal framework for the institutions, and that's why I'm moving in today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this privilege.
Thank you.
To establish Federal Polytechnic Ayede, Oyo State, and to make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to Committee on Tertiary Education and Services. Respected colleagues, earlier on we announced to you that we have from the Ghanaian Parliament, special guests who are here to observe our proceedings, and the leader have ushered them in. Seated there, we have Honorable Dr. Emmanuel Mafo. He is the Chairman, Committee on Environment, Science and Technology. You are welcome. Alongside with him is Honorable Ebenezer Talabi. He's a ranking member, Committee on Environment, Science and Technology. You are welcome. Principle of Bill for an Act to establish Halil Dantoro University of Fisheries and Agriculture, New Busa, to promote science-based research in fisheries and agriculture and political matters. Standing now on Jafar Muhammad. All members will call the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 7 December 2021, and I invite Honorable Muhammad to move that the bill be read the second time.
Jafar Muhammad is my name. I represent the good people of Barugu, Agora, Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Niger State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to present a bill for an act to establish Hollywood Antoro University of Fisheries and Aquaculture, New Busa, to promote science-based research in fisheries and aquaculture and for related matters. HB 1762, I so move.
Royal University of Fisheries and Aquaculture, New Busa, to promote science-based research in fisheries and aquaculture and for related matters. Second reading.
I now invite Honorable Umar to move that the bill be read the second time.
My name is Mudalawal Umar. I represent Toro Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Bauchi State. I rise to move that the bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal Cancer Center to Bauchi State and for related matters, HB 1806, be read a second time. I so submit.
His Honorable Princess Miriam Odinaka Onoha. I represent the good people of Isi Alambano, Onimo, Okigwe Federal Constituency. I am from Imo State, the land of peace and hospitality. I rise to second the motion that the bill for establishment as moved by my colleague be read a second time. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is right that the incidence of cancer has been on the increase in many regions of the world, but there are huge inequalities between developed and developing countries like Nigeria. Cancer incidence rate remains highest in more developed nations, but mortality rate is relatively much higher in less developed countries due to lack of early detection facility and access to quality health care centers for proper treatment. It is a known fact that our dear country, with a population of over 190 million people, currently has fewer than 9 functional radiotherapy machines. This invariably means that each machine is to serve over 20 million Nigerians. Therefore, the various equipment and machines needed in ensuring cancer screening, diagnosis, and treatment of patients are inadequate considering our population. The scarcity of radiation therapy in Nigeria has led to higher cost of patients diagnosed of cancer. It is saddening that while our monthly minimum wage is less than $100, breast cancer patients have to pay more than $600 for radiation therapy treatment, especially if an underprivileged woman is diagnosed with the advanced breast cancer, as is usually the case. Your guess is as good as mine regarding the chances of women being cured effectively. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, to the local government area of Bauchi State, where the cancer center is proposed to be sited, is arguably the largest local government area in Nigeria and served as a link between Plateau State, Kano State, Kaduna State, and other states within the northeastern regions of Nigeria. Therefore, siting the said cancer center in Toro will not only be beneficial to the indigents of Toro local government of Nigeria and the people of Bauchi State, but also will be of tremendous benefit to the neighboring states and Nigeria as a whole. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Against any, that's it. Clerk is invited to read the long title for the bill.
A bill for an act provide for establishment of Federal Cancer Center, Toro, Bauchi State, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to Committee on Health Institutions. Respected colleagues, the sixth debate on the general principle of Bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Dengi, Kanam, Plateau State, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instructions, and training in technology, applied sciences, arts, social sciences, humanities, and management, and for related matters standing now on Yusuf Adamugagdi. All members recall the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 20th January 2022, and I invite Honorable Umar Yusuf to move that the bill be read second time.
I rise to move that the bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Dengi, Kanam, Plateau State, to provide for full-time courses, teaching, instructions, and training in technology, applied sciences, art and social sciences, humanities, and management, and for related matters, HB 1871. To be read for second time, I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Gagdi.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, permit me to lead the debate on the general principle of the bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Dengi, Kanam. You will recall that this bill was read for the second time on this hallowed chamber. My respected colleagues, this is a very straightforward piece of legislation that seeks to establish the Federal College of Education, Dengi, Kanam, Plateau State, to ensure equity, access to tertiary education in the country, make comprehensive provisions for its management and administration with restricted programs and limited and focused departments to aid the educational development and improve on the technical manpower in Plateau State and Nigeria at large. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, this bill is comprised of 21 clauses, essentially, Clause 1 dealt with the establishment of Federal College of Education, Dengi, Kanam, Plateau State, to replace the Federal College of Education, Panjshir, recently upgraded to the Federal University of Education via Act Number 4 of 2022, while Clause 6 dealt with the powers of the Council as outlined below. The college shall have power to A, hold examination and grant national certificate in education to NCE, diplomas, professional certificate, and other distinctions to persons who have pursued courses of studies approved and accredited by the National Certificate Commission for Colleges of Education, NCC. B, to hold examination in education for qualified teachers. C, Mr. Speaker, to recruit staffs and determine structure of such staff. D, demand and receive from any student or any other person attending the college for the purpose of instruction such fee as council may wish the prior approval of the minister from time to time, and determine. DE, hold public lectures and undertake printing, publishing, and sealing of books. F, award fellowship, medals, prizes, and other titles. G, establish, maintain such school and other teaching units with the college or extra-mutual department as the council may from time to time determine. H, erect, provide, equip, maintain such educational, recreational, and residential facilities as the college may require. I, create lectureship and other academic posts and offices and to make appointment accordingly. J, receive and make gift. K, enter into such contract as may be necessary or expedient for carrying into effect the objective of the college and many other functions. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, the need to encourage teaching education in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. Hence, the urgent need to replace the Federal College of Education, Panjshir in Plateau State with the policy program on education. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I will beg that we put the question. Those in favor that the bill be read the second time, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. Bill referred to Committee on Tertiary Education and Services.
Federal College of Education, Dengi, Kanam, Plateau State, provide full-time courses, teaching, instructions, and training in technology, applied science, arts, social sciences, humanities, and management, and for related matters. Second reading.
Distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable B. Uchenna Eke. I represent the good people of Abombise, Ngobala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, this is a motion on the need to reconstruct the old Ahmad Douglas Owerri Port Harcourt Road. The House notes the various efforts of government are creating enabling environment for businesses as well as the importance of road infrastructure to facilitate the movement of goods and services to prosper and better the lives of the citizens. The House also notes that the Owerri Port Harcourt Road was constructed in the colonial era and served as an administrative link road between the then Owerri District Commissioner, H.M. Douglas from Owerri in Imo State, and Sir Lewis Vernon Harcourt in Port Harcourt in Rivers State. Concerned that the road has been abandoned since independence, the former governor of Imo State, late Sir Sam Mbakwe, tried to rehabilitate the road. Unfortunately, the military intervention terminated that project. The House is also aware that the old road has a short and direct route from Imo International Cargo Airport to Port Harcourt International Airport in Rivers State, which, if reconstructed, will boost the movement of goods and services and shorten transportation time for the benefit of perishable agricultural goods, and also save costs in fuel and wear and tear of vehicles due to longer routes. Cognizant that when reconstructed, the road will have the capacity to transform the two oil-producing states of Imo and Rivers States into a huge business hub, particularly in agro-related businesses. The House therefore resolves to urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to ensure funding for the reconstruction of Owerri Port Harcourt Road and make sure that it's captured in the 2023 budget estimates. Two, the House mandates the Committee on Works to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I so move. Thank you.
That's it. Protect telephone subscribers from breach of privacy, fraud, and loss of money. Standing and Honorable Ursula Steve Fatoba. Honorable Fatoba is invited to move the motion.
The need to protect telephone subscribers from breach of privacy, fraud, and loss of money. The House notes that by standard practice, telephone subscribers and email addresses are usually required to open a bank account. Also notes that in line with the regulation of the Nigerian Communication Commission on dormant and inactive lines, telecommunications companies have the right and may reassign SIM cards and phone numbers once they are inactive for some times without recourse to the previous owners, so long as they remain inactive for a set period. Aware that the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation seeks to safeguard the right of natural persons to data privacy and foster safe conduct for transactions involving the exchange of personal data, among others. Also aware that pursuant to the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, the Consumer Protection Framework was enacted with provision that prohibit financial institutions from disclosing customers' personal information and further required that financial institutions have appropriate data protection measures and staff training programs in place to prevent unauthorized access, alteration, disclosure, accidental loss, or destruction of customers' data. Concerns that in spite of the regulatory frameworks, deduction of funds from their bank accounts because their financial institutions
keep sending their bank account transaction details into their Itato phone numbers, which have been reassigned to new subscribers, thus opening a dangerous window for fraudulent activities. Cognizant that it is the responsibility of bank account owners to ensure that their link phone numbers are changed with the financial institution whenever their phone gets lost or when they stop using the link phones. Further concerns that a large number of bank account owners and telephone subscribers in Nigeria are not aware about privacy issues and data protection, and as such are vulnerable and could easily fall prey to identity theft and other nefarious activities of fraudsters. The House do resolve to mandate the committees on telecommunications and banking and currency to look into the cases of people who are falling victims to breach of their privacy and identity theft, to identify inadequacies in the relevant regulatory frameworks and provide solution and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, as respected, please, I so move.
Speaker, this motion is a very important one, particularly as it is directed toward protecting the people of Nigeria from being cheated by established agencies regarding to telecommunication activities of the various telecommunication companies and industry. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, the need for us to lend our voice on this cannot be overemphasized. Mr. Speaker, data. People make money from 1 naira to 2 and 3. By the time you underestimate those charges telecommunication subscribers are making on Nigerians, if you put in a committee today or ask Central Bank to give you the statistic of those money generated as a result of unused data or other subscription, you will see that we may not even need money to borrow and fund the budget for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And such money is kept in the account of various telecommunication subscribers. It is important to approve the prayer of this motion in its entirety so that it helps us in protecting the peanuts that those subscribers and telecommunication industry will be deducting or will be keeping from unused data of subscribers. At the end of the day, you will discover that you subscribe to a particular service and you are not able to consume the data. The data is not kept for you, nor returned to you, nor money amounting to that data is given to you. So in my own opinion, Mr. Speaker, this is quite important that telecommunication industry should know that we are here to protecting our people and protect what belongs to them. If you subscribe to a particular subscription and you did not consume what you subscribe for, there is no fairness, Mr. Speaker, whatsoever to warrant those institutions from taking away those funds from you that you have not used their service for. So I, on behalf of the people of Panshinkanke Kanan Federal Constituency and Nigerians at large, Mr. Speaker, stand here to say that I'm in support of this motion from the beginning to the end, and the prayers of this motion should be sustained. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
In Nigeria today, there is serious breach of privacy in the operation of telecommunications companies, as well as protection of the relevant data of Nigerians that are in their custody. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this translates to jealously guarding and protecting the fundamental human rights of Nigerians, the right to privacy. Telecommunication companies have access to all our data, and therefore it should be jealously protected so that no criminals should have access to those data and then use it for their fraudulent activities. And then privacy also matters a lot, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, because your conversation is supposed to be purely private and be protected. No individual that is unauthorized by law should have access to your privacy, whether in the form of data or conversation using telecommunication with other Nigerians. So this motion, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, is apt and germane and translates to the protection of fundamental human rights of Nigerians, of right to privacy, and then the right to communicate without let or hindrance. Thank you.
My honorable colleagues, I am Honorable Dr. Ajibola Muraina. I represent Barapa Central, Barapa North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm from your state. Right Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I have a motion, and with the leave of the Honorable House, I move, sir. The House notes that Ayete Town is the headquarters of the Barapa North local government area in Oyo State, comprising Ayete Town and the adjacent communities of Ojekunle, Ajelanwa, Akowe, Alagba, Alapala, Akpagbo, Elawu, Elewure, Bodiko, Aboko, Iki, Kajola, Shipa, Oba, Ojekunle, Okuba, Onipede, Okumu, amongst others. Also notes that Ibarapa North local government area shares boundaries with Ibarapa Central local government, Ibarapa East local government area, and Ishain local government area in Oyo State, and Ibadan North local government area of Ogun State, as well as the Republic of Benin. The House is aware that in the last 10 years, Barapa North local government area, including Ayete Town, has experienced several violent attacks allegedly perpetrated by bandits and other criminals, resulting in the loss of lives and properties worth billions of naira. The House is also aware that Barapa North local government area has witnessed skirmishes between men of the Nigerian Customs Service and suspected smugglers due to its proximity to the Republic of Benin. The House is further aware that the 2021 crisis in the Barapa North local government area almost degenerated into a national crisis, but for the intervention of men of the Nigerian Police Force, Amotekun Corps, and the Oyo State government. The House observes that when the crisis erupted in the Barapa North local government area, police officers and other law enforcement agents were deployed from Ibadan and other places to restore normalcy and maintain peace. But they mostly arrived after the havoc had already been wreaked. The House is concerned that after peace is restored, the police and other security agents deployed in the area return to their place of primary deployment, thus leaving the affected communities vulnerable to fresh attacks. The House is mindful that the Nigerian Police Force has established a divisional police headquarters in Ayete some years ago, but it has not been optimally operational due to lack of office accommodation and other amenities for smooth operations. The House is worried that despite the willingness of the affected communities to support the Nigerian Police Force to commence full operations in the area, the Nigerian Police Force is seemingly reluctant to yield. The House is cognizant that in order to put a permanent stop to the incessant attacks and other security concerns in the Barapa North local government area, the Nigerian police force needs to construct a divisional police headquarters at Haiti to create a conducive working environment for its personnel. The House resolves: 1, to urge the Nigerian police force to construct divisional police headquarters at Haiti town, the headquarters of Barapa North local government area for your state. 2, to mandate the committees on appropriation, finance, and police affairs to include the construction of the divisional police headquarters at Haiti town, the headquarters of Barapa North local government area for your state in the 2021 budget estimates. 3, the House also mandates the committees on appropriation, finance, police affairs, and legislative compliance to liaise with the Budget Office of the Federation, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Police Affairs to ensure compliance. Our Right Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I move in terms of my motion papers. I beg to move, sir.
My point of order is taken from under 20. That is, the under 20 says that committees of the House, establishment and jurisdiction of committees. The motion that is on the floor, number 11, which is brought by my brother, I'm a member of the Ecological Funds Committee too, which is brought by my brother, the chairman of my committee, Ecological Fund, is why I brought this point of order. Mr. Speaker, the spirit behind this standing order of the House of Representatives 10th edition, if that motion is taken, it negates it, because all committees have their own jurisdiction. Ecological Fund Office, Mr. Speaker, this committee on Ecological Fund is oversight Ecological Fund. Green World is under environment. Under page 154 says that the Committee on Environment will oversight Green World. Northeast Development Commission oversight Northeast. The Committee oversight Northeast Development Commission. NEMA, the same thing. The Rural, the same thing. If Ecological Fund Office, a committee that is sent up to oversight it, will now want to take over the functions of other committees, this motion negates it. Why am I saying it, Mr. Speaker? It is not just NEMA, Great Green Wall, and Northeast Development, the rural, also local government and states draw from Ecological Fund by law. It is by law, not by motion.
Well, Honorable Comrade, I think if you go through your own House standing order, the same standing order they are referring to.
I have it.
Yes, sir, thank you. Turn to page 162.
162 and there.
You have Committee on Environment.
Yes.
And your decisions are very clear. Oversight the Ministry of Environment, responsible for environment and processes. Oversight the National Oil Spill Detection Agency, control of industrial waste, control of toxic waste, and hazardous waste, dumping by industrialized nations, control of waste pollution, initialization of policy on clean environment for the country, environmental sanitation, excuse me, control of the education, and then Joseph Smith, destruction and environmental matter generally, pollution, environmental research, erosion study, oversight of the National Agency for Green World.
That is it.
Thank you. Oversighting that one. There's to track whatever fund that ecological is given. They are not coming to tell you the quality of work you have done, your procedure in environment as to whether it's correct or not. No, this is what is the intent of that motion.
Their functions.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear their functions too.
Thank you.
Their responsibility.
Please.
You are not on the floor.
Wait, an agency that is a creation out of the environment. What are they asking? They are all asking about tracing in the environment. They are not asking of their own work. So please be guided. It's just like federal character or committee on procurement. If you are asking for public procurement, and you said they shouldn't go to now to account other agencies that should. It's like they are saying they don't do work. Insurance. They go into departments to do the things that are in the various departments as part of their schedule. So you are ruled out of order. Yes, Isiaka.
I rise to hereby step down the motion number 11 for further consultation on the need to investigate the utilization of ecological funds by the National Emergency Management Agency, National Agency for Great Green Wall.
I thought we spoke, Isiaka.
Yes, sir.
And you were to heed the advice.
I'm stepping it down, sir.
Thank you. Motion step down by the leader of the House.
Thank you very much, sir.
10 police force standing now, Honorable Sergius Ose Ogun. Honorable Ogun is invited to move the motion.
I am Sergius Ose Ogun. I represent Eastern Southeast, Eastern Northeast, and from Edo State. I rise to move this motion in good faith. The House notes that Section 4, Sub 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, empowers the National Assembly to make laws for the order and good government of the Federation of or any part thereof. The House also notes that Section 88, Sub 1 and 2 of the 1999 Constitution empowers the National Assembly to conduct investigations into the activities of any authority executing or administering laws made by the National Assembly. The House is informed that on Wednesday, February 16, 2022, while Justice Toyin Adegoke was sitting at the Federal High Court in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, some armed officers of the Nigerian police invaded the courtroom and took away one of the defendants in a matter pending before the courts. The House is concerned that the defendant who was taken away by the invading police personnel is a police officer who was accused of trafficking in persons in case number FHC 07C 200 between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and patients Victor Eyibo and another. The House is also concerned that personnel of the Nigerian police force who are ordinarily charged with the responsibility of keeping the peace and maintaining law and order could muster such effrontery to invade the Federal High Court that was in session. The House is cognizant that the invasion of the court by personnel of the Nigeria Police Force is an attempt to shield their colleague from justice and continue to perpetuate the commission of the offense of trafficking in person. The House resolves, 1, urge the Inspector General of Police to immediately produce the fleeing police officer and hand her over to a National Agency of Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, for prosecution. 2, mandate the Committee on Police Affairs to investigate the invasion of the Federal High Court sitting in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I'm on my feet moving this motion, and the leader of the House is campaigning that my motion should be killed. Is this part of the order in this House now? Should I just stop?
I thought you should just move your motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Number 2 of the House results mandate the Committee on Police Affairs to investigate the invasion of the Federal High Court sitting in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State by personnel of the Nigeria Police Force on Wednesday, February 16, 2022, to ensure that those who were complicit in the invasion face the full wrath of the law and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I so move.
I remain Honorable Dodi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of our North Military Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by my brother, Honorable Sergius Ogun. I so second.
Thank you. Those in favor of the motion can say nay. The nays have it. 12th order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2021 in order to extend the implementation of the year of the capital component of the Appropriation Act 2021 from 31st March 2022 to 31st May 2022 and for little matters. Honourable members of the Court, the bill was submitted to the Committee of Supply on Wednesday, 6 July. The House Leader will move for its consideration. Sorry. Leader.
We do suspend or extend rules to enable us to take item 1 on the order, item. Sorry. To take item number 12 on the order paper and also to suspend or to rescind our earlier decision not to take the matter today. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Move for the House to resolve the Committee of Supply. Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move as directed that this House do resolve to Committee of Supply to consider reports. Mr. Speaker, honourable members, I so respectfully move.
House is hereby resolved into Committee of Supply. Implementation year of the capital component of the Appropriation Act 2021 from 31st March 2022 to 31st May 2022. And for the man, I now invite the leader to give the synopsis of the report.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, meant to amend the Appropriation Act 2021 to simply provide for this operational extension period so that some of the outstanding capital projects that are meant to benefit our people can be accomplished. Distinguished members of the House of Representatives, I want you to join Muhammadu Buhari on this amendment so that we can really succeed in some of the key components of the capital project to enjoy the benefit of this extension, please. Honorable members, I plead that we do that so that we can also harmonize with the position of our sister chamber, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is also APC dominated.
Amendment. Clause 1. Clause 2. Explanatory memoranda. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for cooperating in this regard. And on this note, I rise to move, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, that this House do revert to plenary to report progress. Thank you, the minority leader. Thank you for cooperation.
Motion say aye. Against say nay. Let's have it. Who is saying nay? I believe you will be among those who will be praying and are praying hard for this thing to be done because I believe they have been completed. So they care about the other component of Nigeria. I hope you are not trying to. The House is to vote plans to report progress. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2021 in order to extend the implementation year of the capital component of the Appropriation Act 2021 from 31st March 2022 to 31st May 2022 and for related matters adopted the recommendations of the Committee of the Supply. Leader, move for the adoption of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. I rise to adopt it. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndidi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by my House leader, having pleaded that I should second it so that his projects can be completed.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Leader, move that for the third reading of the bill.
I rise to move for obvious reasons and for the express implications behind this bill that it should be taken the third time in order to be able to impact this procedure and allow Nigerians to benefit from the motive behind the consideration today, sir. Thank you.
Clerks is invited to the third, invited to read the long title of the bill.
A bill for an act to amend the 2021 Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year of the capital component of the Appropriation Act 2021 from 31st March 2022 to 31st May 2022 and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and pass. Provide for the establishment of Federal University of Agriculture, Mpu. In Enugu State and for related matters, only members who called the bill was committed to Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, 29 March 2022. The leader will move for its consideration.
Mr. Speaker, may I move that a bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2021 in order to extend the implementation year of the capital component of the Appropriation Act 2021 from 31st March 2022.
Yeah.
Number 13. Monguno, is it 13 or 12?
13th. University of Agriculture, Mpu.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I beg your pardon, honorable members. I rise to move that item number 13 for consideration of report that a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal University of Agriculture, Umpu, Enugu State, and for related matters, HB 1898, a Senate bill, Mr. Speaker, be taken for the second time. No. That the report be considered the Committee of the Whole. Sorry.
Respectfully, the 14th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committee on Poverty Alleviation and Labor, Employment and Productivity on a bill for an act to provide a legal framework for establishment of National Social Investment Program for the assistance and empowerment of poor and vulnerable in Nigeria and to establish the National Social Investment Program Coordination Office within the Federal Ministry of within the Federal Ministry responsible for social development to manage the implementation of the program at the National Social Investment Trust Investment Trust Fund to alleviate poverty among vulnerable Nigerian citizens through targeted programs for the age, infirm, employment and students. And following my honorable members who called the report was laid on Tuesday, 24th March 2022. Honorable Balarabe Abdullahi Salambe will move for his consideration.
The report of the Committee on Poverty Alleviation and Labor Employment and Productivity on a bill for an act to provide a legal framework for establishment of national social investment programs for the assistance and empowerment of the poor and vulnerable in Nigeria, and to establish the National Social Investment Programs Coordinating Office within the Federal Ministry responsible for the social development to manage the implementation of the programs and for related matters, HB 1153, and approve the recommendation therein laid on 21st March 2022. I hereby move, Honorable Speaker.
I rise to second the motion ably moved by the Chairman of Poverty Alleviation. I so second, sir.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, please move that the House do resolve into Committee of the Whole consider reports.
This Honorable House do resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider reports. So move.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. The House is hereby resolved into Committee of the Whole to consider reports.
Mr. Speaker, it's an establishment bill which I feel honorable members can understand with the mover of the motion across the Senate to allow it passed, I think, for the benefit of our people.
Thank you.
Speaker, without taking much of a legislative time, I would like to plead with the friendly minority leader of the House to please support this bill to pass. If it fails, I hold him responsible.
Thank you.
Drew the attention of the class several times. It's very disheartening. If we keep doing it, every time their bills come here, we don't waste time, we concur. And they cannot. So please, sir, tell clerk to collaborate with the clerk of Senate and allow some of our bills to be concurred by them.
So I cannot affirm or otherwise of the position. So you have to do your best. I want to beg that we'll do the consideration for the clause by clause. Clause 1, got it? 2, 3, 4. Clause 5, clause 6, clause 7, clause 8, clause 9, clause 10. Sada. Okay, so sorry, I didn't see you. Clause 10, 11, 12. Discipline looks lie. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21 plus 22 plus 23 plus 24 plus 25 plus 26, 27, 28, 29 plus 30 plus 31, 32, 33 plus 34.
17 is still on the removal of certain members of the council. Still, the removal of the council is being referred to the federal executive for removal of any member of the council because the president appoints them on the council, not the federal executive council. If you look at it, there is that fundamental error. Clause 17, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Committee on Poverty Alleviation and Labor, Employment and Productivity on a Bill for an Act to provide a legal framework for establishment of National Social Investment Program for the assistance of empowerment of poor and vulnerable Nigerians, and to establish a National Social Investment Programs Coordination Office within the Federal Ministry responsible for social development to manage the implementation of the program and National Social Investment Trust Fund to alleviate poverty among vulnerable Nigerian citizens through targeted programs for the aged, infirm, unemployed, and students and police matters. I now invite Honorable Balarabe Abdullah Salami to move to give the synopsis of the report.
I urge Mr. Speaker to urge the Honorable House to consider the recommendations of the committee on this bill. The bill is self-explanatory that it is trying to establish an office. That office will retain and continue with the programs pertaining programs of social investment, all programs of social investments that aim to reduce the poverty among the Nigerians and see the continuity of these programs, that it will continue even after this present government. So that's why we come with this bill for the sustainability and the continuity of these poverty alleviation programs brought by this by the president, by this administration. So I'm urging honorable members to consider the recommendations that at the end of the day, this bill will see the light of the day and will have an office responsible for the social investment programs that are being run presently by this administration for the continuity, as I said, and sustainability.
Clause 6. Clause 7. Clause 8. Clause 8. Clause 8. Clause 9.
Salame, moral question hanging on your neck.
Clause
Moral
8.
question.
Sorry, 9, 10. Release that. Clause 10. Clause 11. Clause 12. Clause 13. 14. Clause 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. Clause 28. Clause 29. Clause 30. Clause 33. Schedules. Explanatory memoranda. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, just it's an oversight. Just to take us a little bit back, because I need some clarification. This law or the organization on clause 22, where it reads, the office may, by the approval of the minister, borrow by way of loan from any source. That is my concern, from any source. This,
but borrowing is only approved by the National Assembly.
No, the powers to borrow as an entity.
As an entity.
It can borrow, but not from any source. If they go to a Shylock and borrow, what do you do? Of course, Shylocks.
No, sorry, sir. Shylock 1. Secondly, if you are looking at the cleanness of the money, source of the funding too, it's important. As an agent of government, we should be concerned as to where and how things are done. I
think the cleaning, because there is a generic clause, the secretariat is a generic clause on powers to borrow of an entity. If they look at it, they will find that the generic.
So they should use the generic words there.
Yeah, let them use the generic word. It's much safer.
It's better. Engineer, you have something? No, engineer.
22.
When you say any source, is in tandem with the provisional borrowing laws, as long as it's within the ambit of the law.
I think we should use the conventional words. That I agree. Babangida, the financial expert.
Mr. Chairman, the last speaker has said there's no way a government institution will go and secure a loan with an institution that is not covered by law. Before you do that, there must be a due diligence. So I think that it's not injurious
You know,
any source, because
I am not a lawyer.
I want SADA, Mr. Chairman, I want SADA to give us an example of one institution that you can secure a loan that is illegal. Let him give us an example of one. Because when you say illegal sources, you're talking about individuals, you're talking about corporations. Let him give us one example of any institution that somebody can go and secure loan. The source is illegal.
Mr. Chairman, with due respect, this couch, it has never been drafted this way. The clerk is there. This is a law, and the law has to be futuristic. If you can, you say any source.
No, thank you. And I think we do not need to debate this further. You know that our things and items are dynamic. Yeah, if you have somebody that have touched his money, you can decide, okay, come and take loan. Yeah, you are cleaning in one way or the other. It could have individuals. But for me, let's use the generic words that are known to us so that we do not allow any gap. Thank you. Yes, sir. No, this is just in-house work. It's not too difficult. It's an in-house work. The secretariat should take care of that one and do the needful. Thank you. 22 as amended. Yes, sir.
Term B, 2B, and 2I are mere repetitions. And look at
what? Which page are you referring us to, sir?
This is page 3, sir. Page 3, sir.
I thought it was, those ones have been deleted.
We cannot at this stage, without formal motion for a rescission, try to bring the matter back into consideration because we have already passed that step.
We are past that, but I think he need to convince you first. It is when you are convinced with the point, then he will now move for the motion.
Yes.
No, he's asking us to look into it. If it is genuine, because we do not want our bills to go and then come back.
It's not.
Thank you, sir.
Chief Whip, please sit down and
I don't know.
and be guided.
Before they are listening, what is the intent of what they are asking for?
You must be guided by the chair, please. Keep quiet. Chief Whip.
That is item 2B and then item 2I. That's my contention, sir. And I believe we either delete the whole of B and leave I, or delete the whole of I and leave B. If it pleases the chairman and you agree with me, then I can move a motion for rescission. Evaluation and review. Inadvertently be omitted off there. That should be off there. Of the implementation of the programs. Then I, 2I, conduct overall monitoring, evaluation, and review of the programs.
Thank you. I think it's in order.
I most humbly move for leave of the House for rescission in respect of our decision on Section 2I, Section 2I, so that we delete Section 2I and then leave 2B, sir. I so move, sir.
I move to support that we received a decision on Section 2I as moved by Ms. Honorable Borina.
Leader, you have the floor.
I rise by the orders of the chairman that this House do revert to plenary to report progress.
Against any, there's a bit. Thank you. House is hereby to revert to plenary to report progress. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole consider the report on the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal University of Agriculture, Enugu State, and for later matters, approved clauses 1 to 16, clauses 17 as amended, the schedule, the long title, and the explanatory memoranda of the report. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole consider the report of the Committee on Poverty Alleviation and Labor, Employment, Productivity on a bill for an act to provide a legal framework for establishment of national social investment programs for the assistance and empowerment of poor, vulnerable in Nigeria and to establish the National Insurance Social Investment Program Coordinating Office within the Federal Ministry responsible for social development to manage the implementation of the program and for later matters. Approved clauses 1, clauses 2, as amended, clauses 3 to 33, and the schedule, the long title, and the explanatory memoranda of the report. Leader, move for the adoption of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, that the House do adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole as read by the Speaker. Thank you. I so move.
Against any, there's habit. Leader, move for the adjournment of the House.
I thank you, my respected colleagues, members of the House of the Nigerian people. I remain Alhassan Ado Dogwa, member representing Dogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency. I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise as directed to move that this House do adjourn to tomorrow, Thursday, the 7th day of April 2022 by 11 a.m. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so respectfully move.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I second the motion assembly moved by the leader. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. House is up again to tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International. Your window to the world.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen.
Rugged, yes, school. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. We know how to at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders. Hey,